Welcome back. The ANC is holding a virtual three-day Lekgotla. It comes at a time when the party is mourning the loss of Minister in the Presidency Jackson Mthembu. The meeting will focus on four key priorities: the COVID-19 pandemic, economic recovery, local government and service delivery. Govan Whittle's following the story for us. He joins us now live. So Govan, the ANC goes into this meeting with its alliance partners pressuring on a number of fronts, of course, or pressure from a number of fronts. Let's begin with Cosatu and what they are pushing for.
Yeah, Cosatu is quite clear in what they want to achieve at this ANC Lekgotla, and it's a commitment from the ANC to back its effort to appeal a Labour Appeals Court judgment which agreed with the government that they don't have to pay out that third year of the wage agreement. It's been devastating for the ANC's biggest alliance partner, and it's been a source of friction between Cosatu and the ANC. All this while, Cosatu is also pushing for the ANC to deal with rampant corruption and give a clear answer on how it's going to pay for vaccines. This is what the ANC will be expected, at least from Cosatu's side, to answer to at this ANC Lekgotla, but more importantly, they say that they don't want to hear about the analysis of the country. Cosatu is saying that they've seen many ANC documents where the party is essentially doing some introspection and looking at the problems in the country, such as unemployment, poverty and inequality. And right now, Cosatu says they'd rather hear about the plans that will be implemented instead of more analysis. Let's look at what the General Secretary had to say.
You will not be able to address the COVID-19 alone without also addressing the issue of the economic recovery. There are many documents that the ANC has developed. Others are coming from NEC, others are coming from the cabinet, and others are coming from the Alliance Political Council. We all know what the problems are. We don't need to be making a statement of saying we're facing inequality. Everybody knows that. We're facing unemployment. Everybody knows that. What we need to know, and from this meeting, what are the plans that are going to be implemented and implemented urgently so that we address those issues. The issues of attack on the collective bargaining and attack of workers, we're going to raise them strongly in that space, because for an ANC government to renege on a collective bargaining agreement that was signed and trying to go to court to avoid its implementation can't fly. It can't be in the character of the ANC that in its Freedom Charter is promoting collective bargaining, and you've got a government that is trying to get some shortcut on this issue.
So the SACP has called for the ANC to remove corruption-accused leaders as the NEC decision, but that won't be happening at this meeting. What are they saying?
Yeah, so that's one of the biggest points that the SACP has been advocating for, and it involves the Secretary General of the ANC, Ace Magashule. And essentially, the SACP wants the ANC to take action against the Secretary General and other members of the NEC that may be accused or charged with corruption, rather. But that won't be happening at this meeting. That's because, in a side note to the media advisory of the ANC Lekgotla, the ANC pointed out that its next ordinary sitting of the NEC would be the 13th and the 12th of February. And it says a meeting will be held by the top six officials preceding that NEC meeting, in which they will discuss how to proceed with the step-aside resolution, as they've called it. So it's not going to be discussed at the Lekgotla, but the SACP also wants the ANC to look at different indicators to measure the country's GDP growth. It believes that it can't only measure the GDP growth by, or the GDP by economic performance, and you should include unemployment, inequality and poverty, and how that's being addressed in how you calculate the GDP. Let's look at the spokesperson, Alex Mashilo.
We have to move fast in reconstructing our economy, advancing recovery and advancing economic development. And President Cyril Ramaphosa previously talked about building a new economy. We definitely need to build such a new economy. A new economy cannot be dominated by the old characteristics of high levels of inequality, high levels of unemployment, high levels of poverty. And because of those three crises, another crisis of social reproduction, by which we mean the big problem facing millions of families struggling to make ends meet to support life itself. That new economy, it's a measure of success should lie in evaluating the progress we would make in eradicating poverty, radically reducing unemployment, and inequality. If we can do so, we will be able to advance. But it is very clear that we should overcome this pandemic